Anyway, let's take a look at some coping Maga stuff. Here's one from Arizona Republican Party. When President Donald Trump is inaugurated for his second term on January 20th, 2021, will Joe Biden handlers make him boycott or let him attend? I always find it funny, the idea that Joe Biden is like a dementia-ridden invalid, basically, that cannot take care of himself. No, he's old. He's too old. I agree. But, like, he's not out of it the way that these people seem to claim he is. It's very strange. Red Dragon Spawn, thank you for subscribing with Prime with a 3-month streak. I approve of your lifestyle. Thank you. I approve of yours too. This is just a funny meme where Caitlyn Bennett says, I don't know where the bathroom is. That's probably exactly what happened when she pooped herself. We have disenfranchised Red Wardo saying, January 21st should be the beginning of a civil war. Trump cannot step down. Just hope his legal team can get the job done so it doesn't have to come to that. My friend, nothing short of God's personal intervention would help Trump now. Oh, Jesus Christ. What is wrong with these people? No. Guys, civil war is bad. It's really, really bad. People die. A lot of people die. It's not fun. So stop wanting to LARP because war isn't a LARP. It's war. It's a real thing. It hurts. People die. No do. Please no do. Thank you to KR Goss with 100 bits. Says, my awesome NB just took a political quiz for a government class and is proudly very far left. Proud mama. Nice. Tiger White 94, Biden's no more out of it than Trump. I'd say Trump's more out of it if we're gonna say they're out of it, but I think Biden's average 70-year-old person out of it. Does that make sense? Still too old, but... what's this? What are crimes against humanity? Pretty bad stuff, right? How about poisoning the weak and defenseless and cremating them in ovens at scale? That might carry a hefty punishment. I'm sure you will agree. Well, that's exactly what insurgent governors like Whitmer, Cuomo, Murphy and Newsom did when they deliberately infected and killed 50,000 seniors just to push up the COVID-19 death toll, all to make the case for mail-in ballots that they needed to cheat President Trump out of his second term. Wait, it actually gets worse. Then they registered the dead grandmothers and grandfathers to vote. Hang them all. So it looks like someone on Parler is running with a conspiracy theory that is untrue, that COVID numbers were somehow inflated intentionally. No, they weren't. What are we at now? Let's take a look. We take a look at this every once in a while. Are we at, we're almost at 300,000, 282,000 deaths from COVID so far. And look at that. Ooh, going up. Isn't that fun how that works? It's not fun. It's bad. Please stay inside and wear a mask. Liberty Hangout, who has blocked me so I can't look at their Twitter without going into incognito mode, says, lots of video of fraud and not one person in these videos have been identified and questioned. Why? Gee, it's almost like the videos that right-wingers have been pushing actually don't show any evidence of fraud. Because Trump, like, has a crony, right? Bill Barr is a Trump appointee, and someone who's, let's just say, not averse to covering up crimes of a president, right? If anyone was going to try and target, right, individuals and come up with some fake voter fraud thing, or even find real voter fraud if it existed, it would be Bill Barr. He would be going to bat for Trump, right? But there's just no evidence, which is why he's not, and why the other day, why he said there isn't evidence of any widespread voter fraud. Antipodians go to 50 bits. My mom just read the book by Trump's niece, and she said that the way she talks about his mental state as a psychologist is remarkable, and that all things considered, he should probably never have been inaugurated based on his mental state. Quite possibly? I don't know. It's... If we've learned anything from the last 4 years, it's that the office of the president basically is held together by honor system and, tradition, and that's not cool. We definitely need to enshrine in law more checks on the office, that's for sure. Tucker White 94 with 20 bets. Wait, someone on Parler is making shit up, and then it's a link. Let me look at this link. Legasp. Okay. Final electoral college score. Trump 410, Biden 128. Biden must now concede. Where are these people living? Because it certainly isn't reality. Here in reality, where the rest of us live, Joe Biden has 306 electoral votes going to the electoral college. It's gonna happen very soon. I really think at this point that the Trump people are going to do something. I think there's, not all of them, not even most of them, but there's going to be that bottom 1% of Trump supporters that are going to actually go do some mass shooting, terrible, stupid thing, and it's going to be bad. Let's see. We, over 80 million Americans who voted for President-elect Joe Biden, say you did. Inauguration January 20th, 2021. Trump won. The world knows. They're basically seemingly going for the Goebbels strategy, which is, if you repeat a lie enough times, it becomes the truth. I missed some bits, sorry. I'll go look. Ashy Boo 74, 20 bits. They didn't win the first Civil War, so now they're trying again. Yeah, it has those feels, doesn't it?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Tucker White 94, 20 bits. Look at the map in the reply to the electoral map tweet. I don't know what I love more, that they think California flipped red or that they used a 270 to win map. Which one? This one? This one? Oh, God. At least this one didn't have California red. I saw some that had California red. Anyway. So apparently, this guy bet someone $1,000, then they wrote him an essay denying that Trump lost to get out of paying up. This stands as good a reminder to use an escrow if you're doing a bet. Thank you to Petey My Heart. Thank you for following. Applied critical election theory. People who deny any evidence of election fraud People who deny any evidence of election fraud exhibit a rhetorical strategy known as election fragility, which is deployed when one knows there is evidence of massive election fraud and lack of political stamina and political humility necessary to cope with that fact. People denying election fraud often benefit from the election having been stolen. This makes them complicit in the fraud. Their fraud complicity is a feature of their political privilege. They deny... Oh, now they think privilege is a thing. Funny how that works. They deny fraud because they can't have their political comfort disrupted. Election fraud is systematic. It is the ordinary state of affairs, not an aberration in elections. The question is not, did election fraud take place, but how did fraud manifest in this election? Anything that maintains the ruling class political comfort is suspect. Okay, so they're trying to move the goalposts from, obviously, as far as we know, based on the complete lack of evidence to the contrary, we believe that the election is secure. Election officials have said as much. The people who are actually running the elections have said as much. People who worked at all levels have said as much, right? So when Donald Trump comes out and he says, there's election fraud, there's widespread election fraud, it's everywhere, which, by the way, he was saying before the election even happened, okay? The guy just is a sore loser. He said it in 2016, too, again with no evidence. Trump even started an election fraud committee that had to disband in 2018 because they found no evidence of voter fraud in 2016. At least outside of the normal, dozen or so people who do something stupid and catch, like, a felony charge. So, this person is trying to shift the goalposts and say, we don't have to have a burden of proof, even though we're the ones making the claim that the election is a fraud. We have to start and assume the election is a fraud, and it's on you to prove that it wasn't. That's not how claims work. It's not how claims work. You can't do it that way.
Nothing funny about the tools of
Tucker White 94.
capitalism.
There was one I saw from One America News that had California red and it was 270 to win map, and ostensibly news organization didn't even make their own program to code their own map, right? Very funny. Batty Bell with 150 bits and then Clear the Egg with another 150 bits sniped.
There's nothing funny
Let's
about
see.
the tools of
Election fraud isn't
capitalism.
dismissed by reforms, it is merely hidden, thus making it harder to detect and more pernicious. Election reforms reproduce fraud in new ways because they're undertaken when it's the best interest of the fraudsters to appear to be reforming things.
nothing funny about
Asking
the
for
tools
proof
of
of election
capitalism.
fraud denies the lived experience of fraud of those defrauded by it. Proof is the standard and tool of the fraudster. Oh no. If you ask for proof, then it's proof you're a fraudster. Counter stories told by the defrauded are unjustly excluded from evidence as a form of epistemic oppression and political violence. People who benefit from election fraud are also socialized into a culture of accepting fraudulent elections that benefit them. Though they very rarely speak of it openly, there is a political contract in place between them that leads them to accept fraudulent results uncritically. No! Once again, the election in 2016 didn't go the way I wanted it to, but it went that way, right? You accept the results. You're unhappy about it, but you deal with it, okay? That's how it works. And I can honestly say, if I thought that there was genuine election fraud of any sort that would actually change the results of the election, any election fraud that was orchestrated by anyone, Republicans or Democrats, I would agree. Because I have a value that I believe democracy is important, and it's important to run a country through democracy. I think it's good. Apparently that's a controversial statement nowadays, but it is what it is, right? If that was the case and there was something suspect, I'd be on the same page. I'd be like, this needs to be looked into. But they've looked into it. Trump has and his campaign have tried like 40-something lawsuits, and they've lost every single one but one, and that one threw out like 100 votes that weren't even counted yet because they were received by like the day after the election in a specific place. It's just not there. There's no there. You know what I mean? There's absolutely no evidence of election fraud. Sorry, Trump lost. People hate Donald Trump. It's the least shocking result in political history, and I don't understand why they don't get that. Tucker White 94, oh my god, this is word soup. Yes, it is. It really is. Proof. Burden of proof. Who's she? A fun story from someone who says they know Nick Fuentes. I'll take a look in a second. And then Lily Love Stuff, thank you for subscribing with a 3-month streak. Happy anniversary of me subbing to you for 5 months.
There's nothing
Sweet.
funny about the tools of
Altered Rain of
capitalism.
20 bits. Don't want to bother you too much about it, but I DM'd you on Twitter. Not sure if you saw it, about a documentary I'm making on right-wing rabbit holes on YouTube. No worries if you're busy and can't help out with it. I'll take a look after the stream. Sorry, I get a lot of DMs, and if we're not mutuals, it goes into like the general pool of like, although maybe we're mutuals, I don't know. But if we're not, then it goes into the general pool of all my other DMs, and I don't necessarily get to it right away, so I apologize. What else? Oh, there was a tweet or something I was going to take a look at.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Pulp Free Fiction with 20 bits. These people won't be happy until there's another election where everyone votes at gunpoint while being watched over by right-wing militias who get to decide if a vote counts or not. Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad. Let's see. This person says, hey, Nick Fuentes, I know you blocked me, but could you care to comment on the veracity of any of this? So noted, this person on Discord, it looks like, says, so noted fascist and dumbass Nick Fuentes went to the same high school as me and graduated a couple years after me. In high school, he was a notorious weenie and shit his pants running the mile. If you reply to one of his tweets pointing this out, he'll block you almost immediately, and if you just tweet it yourself without even tagging him, he might too, because he name searches like crazy. But he wasn't a fashion high school at all. He started being a Maga guy because, in his own words, it was profitable. So after he graduated, everyone he knew lost all respect for him and wouldn't talk to him. So one Christmas break, he bought a massive amount of weed and offered to smoke people out, and everyone said no. So he went on this huge, now deleted Twitter rant at 6 a.m. Christmas Day, going on about how marijuana is the devil and makes you a communist or whatever, and people replied to it with screenshots of him texting them offering to smoke him out, LMAO. He enrolled at Boston University to, in his own words, quote, engage liberals at one of the most left-wing schools in America in political debate, end quote. He got in because of legacy admissions and a legacy student scholarship, and then dropped out after, shocker, no one would talk to him because he was a virulent racist. Then he tried to attend Auburn, but they rescinded his admission after learning he was at Charlottesville. Now his parents bankroll him, and he spends his free time fighting with the church across the street from his parents' house over the decision to fly a pride flag. Just wanted to share how pathetic this dude is. You know what? This is just obviously an anonymous internet post, but God, I hope that's all true. Donald J. Trump moved embassy to Jerusalem, recognized the Golan Heights as belonging to Israel, ended the Iranian nuclear deal, negotiated multiple peace accords with Muslim countries for Israel, has Jewish grandchildren, liberal Jews voting for Biden, embarrassing. Yikerinos, not commenting on that one. I'm not getting washed, if you know what I mean. Let's see. With SNL mocking the Trump legal team, I realized we're in the second stage described by Gandhi. They're now laughing at us, soon they'll fight us, and then we win. I thought that was a misattributed quote to Gandhi. I could be wrong, though. Tucker White 94, given what we know about Nick Fuentes, I believe that anonymous post. Anyway. Does this man look nervous to you? Narcissists rarely look nervous. I don't know if you guys, as someone who lived with a narcissist through my childhood, let me tell you, the last 4 years have been absolutely wild. Other people who've known, like, actual narcissists know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I feel like people are somewhat... Sometimes I see someone who's still surprised. Like, a new news story will come out and they'll be like, how is Trump doing this? And they're, like, still surprised. And I'm like, you just don't get it, do you? I think people who haven't dealt with narcissists genuinely don't understand how they think sometimes. There is no consistency. There is no attachment to reality. There is only their ego and their wanton need to protect it at all costs. Okay? You can't try and ascribe rationality to their motives when their motives aren't to be rational. It's to win and to feel good about themselves and to constantly put themselves over others. Every decision Trump makes perfect sense when you view it from this angle, right? I don't think Trump is just grifting right now. Trump is a narcissist. He genuinely does not understand that he can lose an election because he's not popular. Because it would break his narc brain if he could recognize that a lot of people don't like him and actively hate him. He just cannot abide that knowledge at all. It is just bonkers. And it's been horrifying the past 4 years. That's something I ended up, and I like to talk about mental health on this show because I think it's fair. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Like, I go to therapy regularly. And a big part of the thing that I've had to deal with over the years is talking about an issue with a narc parent, right? And it's so weird over the last 4 years seeing the country be at the whims of another raging narcissist. And how do I put this? When you're a kid and you have to deal with that kind of thing, you feel powerless, right? Because you have nothing you can do and you're at the whims of a narcissistic, irrational person who does things that are toxic or destructive or abusive to other people. But you grow up and, well, that is like a trauma that you deal with. You're an adult, right? You feel like you get your agency back. But then 2016 happened, and I assume I'm not the only person who has dealt with narcissists when they were kids that felt this. And when Trump got elected, and once again, you're at the whim of a rampant narcissist who has power, even more power, arguably, than was the difference between you as a child and the person who was, like, narcissistic around you. It's like that happening all over again, except as an adult. It's horrifying. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. It's more bonkers than, well, bonkers. Yeah. Antipodian Squid with 20 bits. No. If you've seen my rallies, the country loves me. I'm the most popular. There hasn't been a president as popular as me. I haven't lost. I can't lose. Yeah, it's scary that he genuinely thinks that way. Breaking report. Sidney Powell says there's evidence of fake ballots. Oh, did you guys see Sidney Powell's The Kraken lawsuit? Remember Sidney Powell, who got dropped from the Trump legal team for being too crazy, which is wild? Her Kraken lawsuit got dropped. Not dropped. She didn't drop it. It was, why am I blanking on the term? Dismissed. It was dismissed by the judge. As it turns out, you shouldn't have a typo-ridden document that looks like it was written while drunk sent to the court. Tucker White 94 20 bits. Also, take a hike at Alley Cat. Third place on the bits chart is mine. Oh yeah, Giuliani caught the COVID. Did you guys see that? Charlie Kirk says leftists are the most intolerant people in America. They hate the idea that there are other ideas. Charlie Kirk, there are only two genders. You're nailing it, Charlie. You're nailing it.
Okay? You can't. Candace, I'm a guy. Why can't I just wear a dress? Because you can't. Okay? You can't.
Clay Denius, thank you for the 50 bits. Kraken is great rum, by the way. Ugh, I don't like rum. Not that I'm drinking anyway at this point, but still, rum's gross. Unless you want to feel like a pirate, I guess. Either way, I do find it funny that Candace Owens is apparently, Candace Owens is against people's right to express themselves. Funny how that works. This person says, damn, I donated a lot of money and I thought it was going straight to Trump's legal defense this whole time. This person says this has got to be a troll, but it says, I gave half my life savings to the RNC. I'm nearly ruined now. F. That one's probably a troll, but it's funny. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Oh, we've got mask off Puritanism, straw man arguments, and non-answer all in one. Candace Owens. Yep. Alley Cat, thanks for the 65 bits, and Antipodian Squid with 50 bits. I mean, even if there were only two genders, which there aren't, I'd still be non-binary because I'd be neither of them.
There's nothing funny about the tools
right
of
on.
capitalism.
What's this? Oh my god, it's just a bunch of stuff about, let's see, breaking. Sidney Powell released the Kraken. Trump will win. Breaking news. New evidence shows Trump can win California. These people, they live in a different omniverse than the rest of us. It's not even just a different planet. Breaking, Trump gets Arizona win after full audit across the state. That's objectively untrue. Breaking, USPS workers head to prison for mail-in ballot dumping. Breaking, Sidney Powell releases the Kraken. Like I said, that got dropped a couple hours ago or so. Breaking, Trump gets Nevada win after massive evidence of USPS. No, he lost Nevada still. I assume they're using it in the way that in the title it's clickbait because he's saying win as if he won the state when they really mean they probably got like some tiny procedural thing or something. Very, very strange. Tucker White 94 20 bits. Also, if boys can't wear girls' clothes, then what will the femboys wear? True. Very true. Let's see. This person says, I'm not taking the vaccine. I don't trust anything you've said. You've lied to us and stole the election from our president. You aren't God, but he sees you, and you better believe you're in hot water. Your goose is about to get cooked.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Probably a Lannister with 20 bits. That news site looks like all the spam links my ad blocker saves me from. I was watching last night on YouTube a documentary about the Sumerians and the fall of their civilization. I don't know. I just feel like our civilization fall is the dumbest one, considering it's literally just being taken down by memes and disinformation campaigns using said memes. Ashy Boo with 74 bits, getting vaccinated to own the FASC. I assume that's a typo. It was Spirit Science. Was it Spirit Science? No. It was an actual history documentary, like a real one, not Spirit Science. Fash. Gotcha. Ian Miles Chong says, Trump, if you don't vote, the socialists and the communists win. We need 4 more years of Trump, 8 more years because of the nonsense the Democrats put him through the first time. That's not how any of this works. We have term limits. We've had them for quite a while. How do I know Biden cheated? Look at the size of the crowd. Yes, as we all know, only people who go out in the middle of a pandemic can vote. GOP traitors list. If they are unwilling to support our commander-in-chief, they must know they should shut their F-word mouths. Oh no. They're making a traitor list. That should go well. Yikes.
13th is so...
Oh my god, it's the My Pillow guy.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
Mitchell Drummer, 20 bits. Are we doing bingo today? I'm here to donate. I mean, we can, sure.
How do you not put people in prison? But the most, they will be going to prison. But in the meantime, December 14th is so important. We have to get this governor in here. Governor Kemp, Brian Kemp, has to give an order to have a Congress meeting or whatever they do, their legislators, and pull Georgia down and don't give it to Biden. It doesn't matter who they give it to. Don't give it to Biden. Just and find out all your corruption. Because if you pull down Georgia, Pennsylvania, and crooked Nevada, now nobody has 270, and then it goes to the December 14th vote, and Donald Trump wins the election. Wow.
How do you explain contextually? Please write me an essay about the American Empire and how it fell. Or how the American, let's say, Republic turned into the American Empire. Whatever. Rubicon crossing. How do you write a section about how a fucking guy who invented a shitty pillow had a part in the sedition of American democracy, right? Like, if I wrote this screenplay, people would be like, what the fuck is this? This is trash. Probably Lannister said, all I hear from this dude is rabble, Nevada.
About the tools of capitalism.
I guess you said rabble. I said robble. In my head, he's the Hamburglar. Tucker White 94. How rich must I be in life to teleport to the timeline where Joe Biden is the socialist right-wing dumb fucks think he is? I don't know. Tucker White 94. Mitchell Drummer first says, I actually met the My Pillow guy a few years ago. He seemed nice at the time. How'd that work out? Tucker White 94. It won't matter if Joe Biden had Georgia stolen from him. He still wins the election. 2, how do you say this and not realize you're the asshole in this situation? Yeah, these people, it doesn't matter that it's going to be unsuccessful, right? It doesn't at this point. It's not going to be successful, but it doesn't matter. Because look at how many people have, on the right, completely abandoned the concept of democracy. This genie isn't going back in the bottle. Every time Republicans lose an election from now on, they're going to be doing this shit. It's going to be embarrassing. And it's really, really dangerous. Because every time they lose another election, even though there will continue to be no evidence of, like, fraud in the way that they're claiming there is, it's just going to embolden them, because they've been trained now to think, well, if we lose, we couldn't lose, it must have been fraud. So now every election Republicans lose moving forward, especially, look, if the runoffs, I hope the runoffs go to the Democrats in Georgia, but if that happens, all these claims of voter fraud are going to get even worse. They'll never accept the L. They'll just say, oh, this is even more evidence that our election system is broken, because they only think the election system is sound and working if they're winning. It's crazy. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like in 20 or 40 years, but this is going to be a rough patch. This is going to be a rough patch. Let's see. This person posts a noose and says you're a traitor to the American people. No. Oh my god. Look at this account. Hashtag Team Kraken. The Kraken got dismissed, as I said. Mess with the bull, and you're gonna get the horns. Hashtag fight back. Hashtag God wins. And then a bunch of American flags. At least this guy got the actual American flag emoji, and not the Liberian one like a lot of these people do. Drake Khan with 50 bits. This country is so exhausting to live in sometimes. I feel you on that one. That XY girl with 20 bits, hand, your lipstick color and blush are super great. Sorry I'm late. I'm actually not wearing blush. That's just the color of my face. Thank you, though. I am wearing lipstick, though. My lips are not purple.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Let's see. Paul Joseph Watson. Comments on your video? Can't answer. Fraud. Disappointed. So disappointed. You can't answer. So pathetic. Jesus, just allow the comments. It's not hard. Pathetic. How dare you? F off. Leave me alone. Thought higher of you, but after tonight, no. Just have a family life and enjoy and protect your child. Much respect for that, but otherwise, F off. What's the context for this? I don't even understand what the context for that is.
The stuff.
And there we are, back to where we were from the last Maga cope. So, that's the Maga cope for today, I guess. At least, you know, in the form of the Coping Maga Twitter account. We'll be doing some more coming up here in the form of videos. But, yeah. The Electoral College will be meeting soon. I'm sure the meltdown after that will be of pretty epic proportions. So, keep an eye out for that.